Right now, as you're watching this video, there's an invisible force holding you to your chair, keeping your coffee in its cup, and preventing the entire atmosphere of Earth from drifting into the cold vacuum of space. But what if, in the next 3 seconds, that force didn't just disappear? What if it completely reversed? Imagine this. You're no longer being pulled down toward the Earth's core. Instead, you're being pushed away from it with the exact same force that once kept you grounded. Every atom in your body, every drop of water in the oceans, every breath of air in our atmosphere is now desperately trying to escape our planet. This isn't science fiction. This is what would happen if gravity suddenly reversed. And the consequences would be more catastrophic and mind-bending than you could ever imagine. Welcome to a thought experiment that will challenge everything you think you know about the fundamental forces that govern everything you think you know about the fundamental forces that govern our universe. Today, we're exploring a scenario so extreme, so physically impossible, yet so fascinating that it forces us to confront the very nature of reality itself. We're asking the ultimate what-if question. What if gravity suddenly reversed? Let's start with the immediate aftermath. The moment gravity reverses, everything changes in ways that would make the most extreme disaster movie look like a gentle breeze. Picture this. You're sitting in your living room and suddenly, instead of being pulled toward the Earth's center, you're being pushed away from it with a force of 9.8 meters per second squared. That's the same force that normally keeps you planted firmly on the ground, but now it's working in the opposite direction. In the first second, you'd accelerate upward at nearly 10 meters per second. By the end of that first second, you'd already be traveling at 22 miles per hour straight up. But you wouldn't be alone in this terrifying journey. Every single object not bolted down would be joining you in this involuntary flight to nowhere. Nowhere. Your coffee table, your television, your pet cat, your neighbor's car parked outside. Everything would be racing toward the sky at the exact same acceleration. But here's where it gets truly mind-bending. It's not just the loose objects that would be affected. The very air you breathe would also be subject to this reverse gravitational pull. Our entire atmosphere, which normally forms a protective blanket around Earth due to gravitational attraction, would begin its exodus into space. The air pressure that keeps your lungs functioning, that allows sound to travel, that creates weather patterns, all of it would start dispersing into the vacuum of space. Within minutes, breathing would become increasingly difficult as the air around you thins out. The atmospheric pressure that normally sits at about 14.7 pounds per square inch at sea level would plummet rapidly. Your ears would pop, your blood would begin to boil at body temperature due to the decreasing pressure. And the sky would gradually change from blue to the black of space, as there would be fewer and fewer air molecules to scatter sunlight. And then there are the oceans. Picture the Pacific Ocean, all 165 million square miles of it, suddenly being pushed away from the Earth's surface. These massive bodies of water, which cover over 70% of our planet's surface, would begin to lift off like impossibly large, slow-motion tsunamis reaching toward the heavens. The sight would be both beautiful and terrifying. Imagine looking up and seeing the Atlantic Ocean floating above your head like a massive, undulating ceiling of water stretching to the horizon. These sky-high oceans wouldn't maintain their shape for long. Without the Earth's gravitational pull to hold them together, they would begin to break apart into smaller and smaller droplets, creating a surreal rain that falls upward. Fish, whales, and countless marine organisms would find themselves swimming through the air, their aquatic world literally turned upside down as they're carried away from the only home they've ever known. The immediate chaos would only be the beginning. If gravity were to remain reversed, the very fabric of our solar system, and indeed the universe as we know it, would begin to unravel. Gravity is the fundamental force responsible for the formation of everything from dust particles to galaxies. It's what pulled together the primordial gas and dust to form our sun, our planets, and every star and celestial body we observe in the cosmos. With gravity now acting as a repulsive force, the Earth itself would not remain intact. The immense pressure at the Earth's core, normally contained by the inward pull of gravity, would now be pushing outward. Our planet would literally explode, its constituent particles, including the molten core, the mantle, and the crust, all accelerating away from each other into the vastness of space. The beautiful blue marble we call home would become a rapidly expanding cloud of debris, and it wouldn't stop there. The moon, currently held in orbit by Earth's gravity, would be flung away. Planets in our solar system, no longer bound by the sun's gravitational embrace, hurtle off into interstellar space. The sun itself, a massive ball of plasma held together by its own immense gravity, would begin to expand and dissipate, eventually becoming a diffuse cloud of gas and dust. In a universe with reverse gravity, there would be no stars, no planets, no galaxies. Only an ever-expanding, increasingly sparse collection of matter, pushing itself further and further apart. Humanity, if any remnants survived the initial cataclysm, would face an impossible challenge. How do you sustain life when every material, every atom, is actively trying to repel every other atom? The very concept of a structure would be meaningless. There would be no ground to stand on, no air to breathe, no water to drink, and no sun to provide warmth or light. Survival would require a complete re-engineering of existence, a feat far beyond our current capabilities. Or perhaps, any conceivable future technology. While this thought experiment is fascinating, it's crucial to understand why. According to our current understanding of physics, gravity cannot simply reverse. Gravity, as described by Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity, isn't a force in the traditional sense, like electromagnetism. Instead, it's a manifestation of the curvature of space-time caused by mass and energy. Massive objects like Earth warp the fabric of space-time around them, and what we perceive as gravity is simply objects following the shortest path through this curved space-time. For gravity to reverse, space-time itself would need to curve in the opposite direction, creating a repulsive effect. This would imply the existence of negative masses or exotic matter that repels rather than attracts. While negative mass is a concept explored in theoretical physics, there's no empirical evidence to suggest its existence, nor do we have any known mechanism to create or manipulate it on a planetary scale. The universe, as far as we can tell, is overwhelmingly composed of positive mass, which always attracts. Furthermore, the idea of anti-gravity in the sense of a device that can negate or reverse gravitational pull is purely in the realm of science fiction. Every experiment conducted to date confirms that gravity is always attractive. There are no known particles or fields that would cause gravitational repulsion. Even if such a phenomenon were possible, the engineering challenges would be insurmountable. How do you contain or control a force that actively pushes everything away? How do you build a structure when its very components are trying to fly apart? The laws of physics are remarkably consistent, and gravity is one of the most fundamental and well-understood forces. Its attractive nature is what allows stars to form, planets to orbit, and life to exist. To reverse it would require a complete rewrite of our cosmic rulebook, a change so profound that it would render the universe unrecognizable and, quite possibly, uninhabitable. While the scenario of gravity suddenly reversing is a terrifying one, and one that thankfully remains firmly in the realm of theoretical physics, it serves as a powerful thought experiment. It highlights the delicate balance of forces that allow our universe to exist, and more specifically, that allow life to flourish on our planet. It underscores the profound importance of gravity, not just as a force that keeps our feet on the ground, but as the cosmic architect that builds stars, shapes galaxies, and creates the very conditions necessary for life. This journey into a world without attractive gravity reminds us of the incredible complexity and elegance of the physical laws that govern our existence. It encourages us to appreciate the stability and predictability of our universe, and to marvel at the forces that, day in and day out, hold everything together. What are your thoughts on a world where gravity suddenly reversed? What other mind-bending scientific what-ifs would you like us to explore? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video thought-provoking, please like this video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more journeys into the fascinating world of science and imagination. Until next time, keep looking up, but be glad you're still coming down.